Did you know that? Despite the decline, you ought to purchase Tesla stock. This is from well-known businessman Kevin O'Leary. He said that you could become a millionaire in less than a year if you purchase Tesla shares during the current decline. See why he stated it by tuning in and continuing to watch. Many investors were alarmed by the recent negative trend in Tesla's stock price. A number of analysts and investors began to lose hope in the stock, yet a lot of experts and investors are still positive about the aforementioned stock. As a matter of fact, the price of Tesla shares increased by 1.6% to $714.84. This is most likely the reason why other investors are not too concerned about the stock price volatility. See why Kevin O'Leary suggested purchasing Tesla shares during this decline in order to become a millionaire in only a year in today's video. Amidst widespread anticipation regarding China's economic reopening and the potential boost it could offer to the world economy, the stock market just concluded with a small increase. Although a number of factors influence stock prices, supply and demand in the market at any one time determine the price at that instant. Every day, the dynamics of the market affect stock prices. This indicates that supply and demand affect share prices. A stock's price will increase if there is a greater desire to purchase it than demand. Then there is supply applied. On the other hand, a stock's price would decrease if more individuals wanted to sell it than acquire it, since there would be a larger supply than demand. It's simple to understand supply and demand. What causes people to favor one stock over another and detest another is hard to understand. It all boils down to determining which news is good and which is bad for a corporation. This is a challenge with many possible solutions, and almost every investor you speak to will have ideas and approaches of their own. The main hypothesis is that a stock's price movement reflects what market participants believe a firm is worth based on a company's earnings and profitability from manufacturing and selling goods and services. Fundamental considerations determine stock prices. Technical considerations include momentum, chart patterns, past performance of a stock in the market, and trader and investor behavior. Technical as well as fundamental variables influence stock prices. This covers factors including inflation, the markets and its peers, economic strength, alternatives, unintentional transactions, demography, trends, and liquidity. Various investor kinds rely on various variables. Technical considerations are often considered by short-term traders and investors, who may even give them priority. Long-term investors understand the importance of technical elements and place a higher priority on fundamentals. Strong fundamentalist. Investors are able to accept the influence of technical factors. Market sentiment is frequently obstinate, biased, and subjective. You can accurately assess a stock's potential for future growth, and your predictions might even come true in the future. However, the stock may be artificially kept high or low by the market's myopic attention to a single piece of news, and you may have to wait a while for other investors to discover the fundamentals. Torrance Thomas, the well-known Canadian businessman, entrepreneur, author, politician, and television host, is Kevin O'Leary, or just Kevin O'Leary. Known as Mr. Wonderful on ABC's Shark Tank, he is a strategic investor, the chairman of O'Shares Investment Advisors and Beanstalks, along with founding O'Leary Mortgages, O'Leary Books, and O'Leary Fine Wines. O'Leary also formed O'Leary Ventures, a private early-stage venture capital investment firm. My best performing stock this year to date is Tesla, claims O'Leary. He claims that his son Trevor, who persuaded him to purchase the company's stock in 2019, is the reason he is successful in 2020. Trevor persuaded him to invest in a data technology company rather than an automobile company during his time as an intern at Tesla. Sometimes you think outside the box. He stated, in the realm of institutions, $1 trillion is bullshit. Nothing else. It'll rate. The market is factoring in 8 Fed raises. He continued 25 basis points at a time. He claims that investors are uneasy because of the uncertainties surrounding events that have occurred and are occurring globally, such as the COVID-19 epidemic and the Russia-Ukraine war. He still thinks that the Fed is acting tough when it comes to inflationary worries. Notwithstanding this, he perceives no slowing. He revealed that he receives weekly tear sheets of sales from his investments in about 36 private enterprises, and those revenues do not appear to be slowing down. O'Leary highlighted that although he does not yet see it, he will undoubtedly be the one to recognize the first indications of inflation, or at the very least, a recession. Despite the decline, would you take O'Leary's suggestion and buy Tesla stock? Please share your thoughts with us by using the comment area below. I believe that at least half of inflation is a transient factor. Since I would never buy that bond at this time with a 2 and a change 10-year inflation rate, let's call it a 6. I'm not as negative as the pundits say, and I'm investing accordingly. That is foolish. You're going to lose badly on that, he uttered. In his opinion, it is preferable to stick with stocks because big businesses have the ability to set their own prices. He claimed that in inflationary times, such as his approach, you may travel back through 3 periods of inflation. He claims he continued by saying that businesses with strong pricing, profitable business plans, and low levels of debt on their balance sheets fare particularly well since they're able to pass along their expenses to investors and customers. He personally would rather have those than the bonds in the same firm because of this. He clarified, saying it's a really bad place to put capital to work because I know with 100 certainty when I'm going to get paid back, and if I have a long duration bond and inflation is 6% and I'm paying 3.2%, which is sort of the average of corporate paper right now. Thus, I'd much rather invest in stocks. According to Ariri, investing is most profitable when everyone is moving in the opposite direction. He likened this tactic or maneuver to the lemming effect. In psychology, the term lemming effect describes a phenomenon where groups of people in different walks of life behave a specific way simply because most of their peers do. O'Leary remarked, almost in shock, tech has been cut in half, and yet the growth rates of the companies have not slowed at all. He claims there's no proof mega cap internet firms' growth rates have halted. I don't listen to people say. Instead, I look at growth, free cash flow, and the balance sheet. It's the cash flow that interests me. O'Leary is presumably confident in his investments. Because of this, the price of the most recent transaction is often meant when someone speaks of a stock's price. As a result, unless the transaction is for the same price as the last one, the price varies every time a new one takes place. Every day, major stocks trade millions of times, and the price of the stock could alter with every one of those deals. The price of thinly traded penny stocks fluctuates less frequently since they may only trade a few thousand times a day. Nevertheless, fluctuations in stock values are common. Kevin O'Leary suggested purchasing Tesla shares despite the current decline because it may help achieve his goal of becoming a millionaire in less than a year. In actuality, Tesla delivered more than 900,000 automobiles and intended to boost that number by 2021, despite the downward spiral trend Tesla stock has been experiencing since the COVID-19 pandemic started in 2020. Furthermore, on December 28, 2021, it was reported that Musk revealed that he has sold $16.04 billion worth of Tesla stock since early November, which represents almost 10 of his ownership position in the business. In addition, Tesla announced record-breaking $3.03 billion in net income for the first quarter of 2022, above Wall Street projections, as revenue increased by 81% year over year to $18.08. Having said that, those who have the resources and the chance to purchase Tesla stock ought to do so only after thoroughly researching the company and coming to the conclusion that it is a wise investment. Remember that stock investment carries some risk, but can ultimately yield substantial profits. You still have the option and the chance. Check out our other videos on our channel to see more of this kind of material.